Today marks 7 days of fighting. The president of Ukraine is still alive despite being a target for assassination. Newsmax correspondent Sarah Williamson is joining us live from the southern outskirts of Kyiv. Sarah, we hear that you just heard sirens going off a little while ago. Can you talk to us about that?
That's right, Alison. The area that we were in just moments ago had air raid sirens blasting through the area. So we've had to evacuate immediately. We're in the south of Kyiv at the moment, and these areas continue to receive overnight blasts on civilian areas. Now, these areas outside of Kyiv on the outskirts of the city centre continue to be hit by Russian missiles. These are civilian areas, despite Russia continuously saying that they are only hitting military targets. So really, nowhere around here is safe at any given hour, really. So at the moment where we are, we can't hear these sirens. They have stopped at this hour. And despite us being in Kyiv, which is under high alert, the real focus at the moment in the country remains in Kherson and Kharkiv. Now, Kharkiv today has been under heavy bombardment, as it has been over the last few days. This morning, the police headquarters and the National University there was struck by Russian missiles, and as a result, 4 people were killed there. Just yesterday, in that day alone, 21 people were killed there, and 112 people were wounded by attacks by the Russians on civilian locations. Now, this is that same area that saw that attack, that missile strike on that administrative building. Kharkiv is the second biggest city in the country. It's right up on the northeastern border, very, very close to Russia. So it is a strategic area for them to try and capture. And it has been receiving heavy bombardment on a lot of civilian areas. So this is one that they have really tried to focus on. And down in Kherson, on the southeast as well, the Russians are saying that they do have full control of the city, but the Ukrainians say otherwise. They say that although it is fully surrounded, the battle for the area continues. There are videos of Russian troops going through the city, but that doesn't mean that they have overtaken the town. They are saying at the moment the mayor of Kherson is asking and requesting for a green corridor to be made so they can take out the injured bodies and the dead, and in return bring in medical equipment to treat the wounded in those cities, as it is currently under constant bombardment as well. So although Kyiv is still under high alert and is still one of these main cities that we continue to focus on, Kherson and Kharkiv are the two that are suffering the most at the moment, Alison.
Okay, Sarah Williamson, thank you so much. We really hope you stay safe. We appreciate your reporting. You're doing a great job. Now let's turn our attention to President Biden's State of the Union address. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds delivered the GOP response, comparing the current state of the country to a forgettable time in American history.
Yeah, for more, let's welcome in member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, Iowa Congresswoman Ashley Hinson. Congresswoman, so nice to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. So Joe Biden's first State of the Union address, the shortest for a first-time address in 20 years. The last time we had an address this short was 2002. It was rambling. I loved the first 5 minutes. The rest of it didn't make a lot of sense to me. 62 minutes in all. What was your reaction after the president's address?
Well, unfortunately, the president had an opportunity to actually bring our country together, present some bipartisan solutions in that address for the problems that Iowans and Americans are actually facing. And what we saw was that he just doubled down on his failed agenda of the last year, which is out of touch. I mean, our governor said it best in her response last night. You know, she used to work nights at a grocery store. She said you don't have to bag groceries at a grocery store to see what people are feeling from inflation. You just have to get out of the D.C. bubble. And unfortunately, President Biden missed the course on that last night.
Yeah, Congresswoman, you just mentioned your governor, Kim Reynolds. She spoke last night. I want our viewers to listen to a clip of what she had to say. Take a listen.
We're now 1 year into his presidency, and instead of moving America forward, it feels like President Biden and his party have sent us back in time to the late 70s and early 80s, when runaway inflation was hammering families, a violent crime wave was crashing our cities, and the Soviet Army was trying to redraw the world map.
Congresswoman, we talk about these kitchen table issues, what's affecting everyday Americans, and listening to his speech last night, it just seemed, and a lot of people said he was out of touch. He said inflation is because of greedy businesses.
Yeah, well, and that's why it's important for me to share the stories from back home in my district. So he gets those kitchen table issues and those stories, and hopefully they start resonating in the back rooms of the White House. But it's the business owner who only got 50% of their stock in because of these shipping delays and the supply chain problems. And now they're just having to make do. It's the farmer who's worried about passing on their land because of overregulation. It's the mom who's trying to figure out how many groceries she can put in her cart because she's worried about how much she's paying for gas. Those are the real world problems that we needed answers to last night. And again, all we got was the BBB with a new name repackaged. I'm sorry, you can't repackage that agenda. It's wrong for the American people.
Yeah.
And the American people know it.
So, Congresswoman, fine. Everyone in Congress didn't have to wear a mask last night. Everybody was invited. But then they were all socially distanced, which I didn't know was going to happen until I started watching the speech. It makes no sense to tell people that they don't have to wear a mask, but then they do have to be socially distanced. I think that was confusing for the American people who are like, wait a second, what science are we following? Joe Biden's approval rating, 37%. I looked into this. So Jimmy Carter had a 28% approval rating for his last State of the Union address. This is the lowest approval rating that we've seen for a first State of the Union since Jimmy Carter. What do you make of that? The president had an opportunity to unite the American people and free-loving people, democracies around the world. Did he hit the mark last night?
Right. No, he missed the mark. And it's really because he chose, instead of coming to the middle on all of these policies that Americans really care about, safety and security at our border. Where was his plan to actually secure and fix the border? Energy independence. You look at his remarks about Russia and Ukraine last night. Nowhere in his speech did I hear him say, we are going to stop buying Russian oil and unleash American independence. So those are issues that Americans are talking about. They care about. Inflation is a tax on every working family. Meanwhile, we heard about more big spending and big government expansion last night. So you look at that contrast. Again, I want to go back to what our governor said last night. What a clear contrast in how things were done. In Iowa, they just passed bipartisan tax reform to return more money to taxpayers. Our schools were open. Our businesses were open. We did it right in Iowa, and we should be a model for the rest of the country.
Congresswoman, great having you on this morning. Come back and see us soon. We appreciate your take on the speech last night. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.